Here, bros. So we're at scene 11, Act 3 of Antony and Cleopatra, the tragedy of. I try to speak as clearly as we can here without the impediment, sirs. Alexandria, Cleopatra's palace. Enter Antony with attendants. Hark! The land bids me tread no more upon't. It is a shame to bear me. Friends, come hither. I am so lated in the world that I have lost my way forever. I have a ship laden with gold. Take that, divide it. Fly and make your peace with Caesar. Fly not we. I have fled myself and have instructed cowards to run and show their shoulders. Friends, be gone. I have myself resolved upon a course which has no need of you. Be gone. My treasures in the harbor, take it. I followed that I blushed to look upon. My very hairs do mutiny, for the white reprove the brown for rashness, and they them for fear and doting. Friends, be gone, you shall. Have letters from me to some friends that will sweep your way for you. Pray you, look not sad, nor make replies of loathness. Take the hint which my despair proclaims, let that be left which leaves itself. To the seaside straightway I will possess you of the ship and treasure. Leave me, I pray, a little, pray you now. Nay, do so, for indeed I have lost command. Therefore I pray you, I'll see you by and by. Enter Cleopatra, led by Clayton and Iris, Eros following. Nay, gentle madam, to him, comfort him. Do, most dear queen. Do, why, what else? Let me sit down, O Juno. No, 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 no. See you here, sir. Oh, fie, fie, fie. Madam. Madam, oh good empress. Sir, sir. Yes, my lord, yes. He at Philippi kept his word e'en like a dancer, while I struck the lean and wrinkled Cassius, and 'twas I that the mad Brutus ended. He alone dealt on litanentry, and no practice had in the brave squares of war. Yet now, no matter. Ah, stand by. The queen, my lord, the queen. Go to him, madam, speak to him. He is unqualified with the very shame. He told me to pause, I'll pause. Is this where I, for Michelangelo? Is this where I do that? I don't remember exactly what it looked like. I'm pretty sure it was the Olympics and he was throwing. But I mean, I guess that would be a letter that they use. Now that we've learned some things about the Olympics, they were into literature and writing. I wonder how that went down. The O's. Well then, sustain me. Oh. Most noble sir, arise. The queen approaches. Her head's declined, and death will seize her. But your comfort makes the rescue. I have offended reputation, a most unnotable swerving. Sir, the queen. Oh, whither hast thou led me, Egypt? See how I convey my shame out of thine eyes by looking back what I have left behind, storied in dishonor. Oh, my lord, forgive my fearful sails. I little thought you would have followed. Egypt, thou knewest too well my heart was to thy ruddy tied by thy strings. And thou shouldst tell me, after my spirit died, fully supreme, thou knewest, and that thy beck might from the bidding of the gods command me. Slay. Oh, my pardon. Now I must to the young man send humble treaties, dodge and palter in the sifts of lowness, who with half the book of the world played as I pleased, making and marring fortunes. You did know how much you were my conqueror, and that my sword, made weak by my affection, would obey it on all cause. Pardon, pardon. Fall not a tear, I say. One of them rates all that is won and lost. Give me a kiss. Even this repays me. We sent our schoolmaster. Has he come back? Love, I am full of lead. Some wine within there in our veins. Fortune knows. We scorn her most when most she offers blows. Scene 12. Egypt, Caesar's camp. Enter Caesar, Dolabella, Therius with others. Let him appear that comes from Antony. Know you him? Caesar, 'tis his schoolmaster. An argument that he is plucked, when hither he sends so poor opinion of his wing, which has superfluous kings for messengers, not many moons gone by. Approach and speak. Such as I am, I come from Antony. I was of late as petty to his ends, as in the morn dew on the myrtle leaf to his grand sea. Be it so, declare thine office. Lord of his fortunes, he salutes thee, and he requires to live in Egypt, which not granted. He lessens his request, and to thee sues to let him breathe between the heavens and earth. A private man in Athens, this is for him. Next Cleopatra does confess thy greatness, submits her to the might and for thee caves, the circle of the Ptolemies for her heirs, now hazarded to thy grace. For Antony I have no ears to his request. The queen of Onius nor desire shall fail, so she from Egypt drive her all disgraced friend, or take his life there. That if she perform, she shall not pure unheard. So do them both. Fortune pursue thee. Bring them through the bands. To try thy eloquence, now 'tis time dispatch. Antony, win Cleopatra, promise. And in our name, what she requires add more. From thine invention offers, women are not in their best fortune strong, but want will perjure. The nearer touched vestal, try the cunning, furious. Make thine own edict from thy pains, which we'll answer the law. Caesar, I go. Observe how Antony becomes his flaw, and what thou thinks is very action speaks in every power that moves. Caesar, I shall. Scene 13. Alexandria, Cleopatra's palace. Enter Cleopatra, Enobarbus, Clayton, and Iras. What shall we do, Enobarbus? Think and die. Is Antony or we in fault for this? Antony only. That would make his will lord of his reason. Would thou you fled from that great face of war, whose several ranges frighted each other, why should he follow? The itch of his affection should not then have nicked his captainship at such a point when half to half the world opposed, he being the mere question. 'Twas a shame no less then was his loss, to course your flying flags and leave his navy gazing. Prithee, peace. Enter Antony with Ephronius, the ambassador. Is that his answer? Aye, my lord. The queen shall then have courtesy, so she will yield us up. He says so. Let her note to the boy Caesar send this grizzled head, and he will fill thy wishes to the brim with principalities. That head, my lord. To him again, tell him he wears the rose of youth upon him, from which the world should note something particular. His coin, ships, legions, maybe a coward's, whose ministers would prevail. Under the service of a child, as soon as I command the Caesar, I dare him, therefore, to lay his gay comparisons apart and answer me declined, sword against sword. Ourselves alone. I'll write it, follow me. Yes, like enough high-battled Caesar will unstate his happiness and be staged to the show against a sworder. I see men's judgments are parcel of their fortunes, and things outward do draw the inward quality after them. Two suffer all alike. That he should dream, knowing all measures, the full Caesar will answer his emptiness. Caesar, thou hast subdued his judgment too. Enter an attendant. A messenger from Caesar. What, no more ceremony? See my women against the blown rose, may they stop their nose that kneeled into the buds. Admit him, sir. Mine honesty and I begin to square. The loyalty will held to fools does make our faith more folly. Yet he that can endure to follow with allegiance a fallen lord does conquer him that did his master conquer, and earned the place I the story. Enter Therius. Caesar's will? Here to part. None but friends, say boldly. So happily are thy friends to Antony. He needs as many, sir, as Caesar has, or needs not us. If Caesar please, our master will leap to be his friend. For us, you know who he is, we are, and that is Caesar's. So, thus then, thou must renown Caesar, entreats not to consider in what case thou standest further than he is Caesar. Go on, right royal. He knows that you embraced not Antony as you did love, but as you feared him. Oh. The scars upon your honor, therefore, he does pity as constrained blemishes, not as deserved. He is a god and knows what is most right. Mine honor was not yielded, but conquered merely. To be sure of that, I will ask Antony. Sir, thou art so leaky that we must leave thee to thy sinking, for thy dearest quit thee. Shall I say to Caesar what you require of him? For he partly begs to be desired to give. It much would be please him, that of his fortunes you should make a staff to lean upon, but it would warm his spirits to hear from me and you had left Antony. And put yourself under his shroud, the universal landlord. What's your name? My name is Therius. Most kind messenger, say to great Caesar this. In deputation I kiss his conquering hand, tell him I am prompt to lay my crown at his feet, and there is to kneel. Tell him from his all-obeying breath I hear the doom of Egypt. 'Tis your noblest course, wisdom and fortune combining together, if that the former dare, but what it can, no chance may shake it. Give me grace to lay my duty on your hand. Your Caesar's father oft, when he hath mused of taking kingdoms in, bestowed his lips on that unworthy place, as it rained kisses. Re-enter Antony and Edobarbus. Favors by Jove that thunders! What art thou, fellow? One that but performs the bidding of the fullest man and worthiest to have command obeyed. You will be whipped. Approach there, you kite, how gods and devils. Authority melts from me. Of late when I cried, ho! Like boys unto a musk kings would stort forth and cry, your will? Have you no ears? I am Antony yet. Enter attendants. Take hence this jack and whip him. 'Tis better playing with a lion's whelp than with an old one dying. Moon and stars, whip him! Weren't 20 of the greatest tributaries? That to acknowledge Caesar, should I find them so saucy with the hand of she here? What's her name? Think she was Cleopatra? Whip him, fellows. Till like a boy you are sin, till like a boy you see him cringe his face, and when allowed for mercy take him hence. Mark Antony, tug him away. Being whipped, bring him again. This jack of Caesar's shall bear us an errand to him. You were half blasted ere I knew you. Ha! Have I my pillow left unpressed in Rome, forborne the getting of a lawful race, and by a gem of a woman to be abused by one that looks on feeders? Good, my lord. You have been a bugler ever, but when we are in viciousness grow harder. O misery on't, the wise gods seal our eyes. In our own filth drop our clear judgments, makes us adore our errors, laugh at while we strut to our confusion. Oh, is't come to this? I found you a morsel of cold upon dead Caesar's trench. Nay, you were a fragment of Aeneas's Pompey's. Besides what hotter hours, unregistered in vulgar fame, you have luxuriously picked out, for I am sure, though you can guess what temperance should be, you know not what it is. What for is this? To let a fellow that will take rewards and say, God quit you. Be familiar with my playfellow, your hand, this kingly seal and plighter of high hearts. Oh, that I were upon the hill of Basin, to outroar the horned herd, for I have savaged cause, and to proclaim it civilly were like a haltered neck, which does the hangman thank for being rare about it. Re-enter attendants with Therius. Is he whipped? Soundly, my lord. Cried he, and begged he pardon? He did ask favor. Is that thy father live, let him repent thou wast not made his daughter, and be thou sorry to follow Caesar in his triumph, since thou hast been whipped for following him. Henceforth the white hand of a lady fever thee. Shake thou to look on't, get thee back to Caesar. Tell him thy entertainment, look thou say, he makes me angry with him. For he seems proud and disdainful, harping on what I am, not what he knew I was. He makes me angry, and at this time most easy to do it, when the good stars that were my former guides have empty left their orbs and shot their fires into the abysm of hell. If he mislike my speech and what is done, tell him he has Hipparchus, my enfranched bondman, whom he may at pleasure whip, or hang, or torture, as he shall like to quit me. Urge it thou, hence with thy stripes be gone. Have you done yet? Alack, our Tyrian moon is now eclipsed, and it portends alone the fall of Antony. I must stay his time. To flatter Caesar would you mingle eyes with one that lies his points. Not know me yet? Cold-hearted towards me? Ah, dear, if I be so, from my cold heart let heaven engender hail, and poison it in the source, since the first stone drop in my neck, as it determines, so dissolve my life, the next Caesarean smite, till by degrees the memory of my womb, together with my brave Egyptians all, by the discandying of the pelleted storm, lie graveless till the flies and gnats of Nile have buried them for prey. I am satisfied. Caesar sits down in Alexandria, where I will oppose his fate. Our force by land hath nobly held, our severed navy to have knit again, and fleet threatening most sea-like. Where hast thou been, my heart? Dost thou hear, lady? If from the field I shall return once more to kiss these lips, I will appear in blood. I and my sword will earn our chronicle. There's hope in't yet. That's my brave lord. I will be treble sinews, hearted, breathed, and fight maliciously. For when mine hours were nice and lucky, men did ransom lives of me for jest. But now I'll set my teeth, and send to darkness all that stop me. Come, let's have one other gaudy night. Call to me all my sad captains, fill our bowls once more, let's mock the midnight bell. It is my birthday. I had thought to have held it poor, but since my lord is Antony again, I will be Cleopatra. Happy birthday. We will yet do well. Call all his noble captains to my lord. Do so, we'll speak to them, and tonight I'll force the wine weep through their scars. Come on, my queen, there's sap in it. The next time I do fight, I'll make death love me, for I will contend even with his pestilent scythe. Now he'll outstare the lightning. To be furious is to be frighted out of fear, and in that mood the dove will peck the estrage, and I see still a demutation in our captain's brain. Restores his heart when valor preys on reason. It eats the sword it fights with. I will seek some way to leave him. My dad's birthday's in a month. Almost a month and a day. 101. The schoolmaster. 101 here. So that's the end of Act 3. As he mentioned my Aunt Penny and the ostrich at the fall of man, as I have mentioned before, and now I have a witness to it. Thank you, Caesar. The drunkenness. I love the different acts. Act 4th, Scene 1, Tragedy of Antony and Cleopatra. Before Alexandria, Caesar's camp. Enter Caesar, Agrippa, and Maecenas with his army. Caesar reading a letter. He calls me boy, and chides as he had power to beat me out of Egypt. My messenger he hath whipped with rods, dares me to personal combat. Let the old ruffian know I have many other ways to die. Meantime laugh at his challenge. Caesar must think. When one so great begins to rage, he's hunted even of falling. Give him no breath, but now make boot of his distraction. Never anger made good guard for itself. Let our best heads know that tomorrow the last of many battles we mean to fight. Within our files there are, of those that served Mark Antony but late, enough to fetch him in. See it done, and feast the army. We have store to do't, and they have earnt the waste. Poor Antony. Scene 2. Alexandria, Cleopatra's palace. Enter Antony, Cleopatra, Enobarbus, Clayton, Iris, Alexis, with others. He will not fight with me, Domitius. No? Why should he not? He thinks being 20 times of better fortune, he has 20 men to 1. Tomorrow, soldier, by sea and land I'll fight, or I will live, or bathe my dying honor in the blood, shall make it live again. Woot, thou fight well? I'll strike and cry, take all. Well said, come on. Call forth my household servants. Let's tonight be bounteous at our meal. Enter 3 or 4 servitudes. Give me thy hand. Thou hast been rightly honest, so hast thou, thou and thou, and thou. You have served me well, and kings have been your fellows. What means this? 'Tis one of those odd tricks which thou shoots out of the mind. And thou art honest too. I wish I could be made so many men, and all of you clapped up together in the Antony, and that I might do you service so good as you have done. The gods forbid! Well, my good fellows, wait on me tonight. Scant not my cups, and makes as much of me as when mine empire was your fellow too, and suffered my command. What does he mean? To make his followers weep. Tend me tonight. Maybe be it is the period of your duty. Happily you shall not see me more, or if a mangled shadow perchance tomorrow you'll serve another master. I look on you as one that takes his leave. Mine honest friends, I turn you not away, but like a master married to your good service, stay till death. Tend me tonight 2 hours, I ask no more, and the gods yield you for it. What means you, sir, to give them this discomfort? Look, they weep, and I, an ass, am onion-eyed, for shame transform us not to women. Ho, ho, ho! Now the witch take me, if I meant it thus. Grace grow where those drops fall, my hearty friends. You take me into dolorous ascents. For I spake to you from your comfort, did desire you to burn this night with torches, know my hearts. I hope well of tomorrow, and will lead you, or rather I'll expect victorious life than death and honor. Let's so supper come, and drown consideration. Scene 3, the same. Before the palace, enter 2 soldiers to their guard. Brother, good night. Tomorrow is the day. It will determine one way. Fare you well. Heard you of nothing strange about the streets? Nothing? What news? Be like 'tis but a rumor. Good night to you. Well, sir, good night. Enter 2 other soldiers. Soldiers, have careful watch. And you? Good night, good night. Here we, and if tomorrow our navy thrive, I have an absolute hope our landmen will stand up. 'Tis a brave army, and full of purpose. Peace, what noise? List, list! Hark! Music I the air. Under the earth. It sounds well, does it not? No. Peace, I say. What should this mean? 'Tis the god Hercules, whom Antony loved, now leaves him. Walk. Let's see if other watchmen do hear what we do. How many masters? How now? How now? Do you hear this? Aye, it's not strange. Do you hear, masters? Do you hear? Follow the noise so far as we have quarter. Let's see how it will give off. 'Tis strange. Scene 4. The same, a room in the palace. Enter Antony and Cleopatra, Clayton and others attending. Eros, mine armor, Eros. Sleep a little. No, my chuck. Eros, come, mine armor, Eros. Enter Eros with armor. Come, good fellow, put mine iron on. If fortune be not ours today, it is because we brave her. Come. Nay, I'll help too. What is this for? Ah, let be, thou art the armor of my heart. False, false, this. Soothe, la, I'll help. Thus it must be. Well, well. We shall thrive now. Seest thou, my good fellow. Go put on thy defenses.
I can feel the pattern now.
Briefly, sir. Is not this buckled well?
I don't like that pattern.
Rarely, rarely. He that unbuckles this, till we do please, too daft for our repose, shall hear a storm. Thou fumblest, Eros, and my queen's squire, more tight at this than thou, dispatch. O love, that thou couldst see my wars today, and knewst the royal occupation, thou shouldst see a workman in't. Enter an armed soldier.
I'm not kidding at all.
Good morrow to thee, welcome. Thou look'st like him that knows a warlike charge. To business that we love, we rise bedtime, and go to with delight. 1,000,
Yeah, I
sir.
will. Rest
Early
assured
though
I
to
will.
be, have on their riveted trim, and
You're not
at the
the
port
owner of
expect you.
I can feel the pattern.
Enter captains and soldiers.
No. No.
The morn is
sir.
fair. Good morrow,
I'm
general.
talking about you, motherfucker.
Good morrow, general. 'Tis well blown, lads.
Shut
This
up.
morning, like the spirit of a youth
not
that
the
means
owner.
to be off note, begins bedtime. So, come give me that. This way,
You're not
well
the
said.
owner.
Fare thee well, dame. Whate'er becomes of me, this is a soldier's kiss. Rebukable and worthy shameful check it were to stand on more mechanic compliment. I'll leave thee now like a man of
we're not
steel.
kidding with you.
You that will
At
fight,
all.
follow me close. I'll bring you to't. Adieu. Please you, retire to your chamber. Lead me. He goes forth gallantly, that he and Caesar might determine this great war in single fight. Then Antony, but now well on. Scene 5. Alexandria, Antony's camp. Trumpet sound, enter Antony and Eros, a soldier meeting them. The gods make this a happy day to Antony. Wert thou in those, thy scars, had once prevailed? To make me fight at land? Hadst thou done so, the kings that have revolted and the soldier that has the morning left thee would have still followed thy heels. Who's gone this morning? Who? Whenever near thee, call for Enobarbus, he shall not hear thee, or from Caesar camp, say I am none of thine. What say'st thou? Sir, he is with Caesar. Sir, his chest and treasure he has not with him. Is he gone? Most certain. Go, Eros, send his treasure after, do it. Detain na jot. I charge thee, write to him, I will subscribe, gentle adius and greetings. Say that I wish he never find more cause to change a master. Oh, my fortunes have corrupted honest men. Dispatch, Enobarbus. Scene 6. Alexandria, Caesar's camp. Flourish, enter Caesar with Agrippa, Enobarbus, and others. Go forth, Agrippa, and begin the fight. Our will is Antony, be look alive. Make it so known. Caesar, I shall. The time of universal peace is near. Prove this a prosperous day. The three-nooked world shall bear the olive freely. Enter a messenger. Antony is come into the field. Go charge Agrippa, plant those that have revolted in the van, that Antony may seem to spend his fury upon himself. Alexis did revolt, and went to Jewry on affairs of Antony. There did persuade great Herod to incline himself to Caesar, and leave his master Antony. For this pain Caesar hath hanged him. Canidius and the rest that fell away have entertainment, but no honorable trust. I have done ill, of which I do accuse myself so sorely that I will joy no more. Enter a soldier of Caesar's. Enobarbus, Antony hath after thee sent all thy treasure, with his bounty overplus. The messenger came on my guard, and at thy tent is now unloading of his mules. I give it you. Mock not, Enobarbus. I tell you true, best you safe to the bringer out of the host. I must attend my office, or would have done it myself. Your emperor continues still a Jove. I am alone the villain of the earth, and feel I am so most. O Antony, thou mine of bounty, how wouldst thou have paid my better service, when my turpitude thou dost so crown with gold? This blows my heart. If swift thou break it not, a swifter mean shall outstrike thou. But thought will do't, I feel. I fight against thee. No, I will go seek some ditch wherein to die. The Faust best fits my latter part of life. Scene 7. Field of battle between the camps. Alarum, drums, and trumpets. Enter Agrippa and others. Retire, we have engaged ourselves too far. Caesar himself has work, and our oppression exceeds what we expected. Enter Antony and Sarus wounded. Oh, my brave emperor, this is fought indeed. Had we done so alt first, we had driven them home, with clouts about their heads. Thou bleedst apace. I had a wound here that was like a T, but now 'tis made an H. They do retire. We'll beat them into bench holes. I have yet room for 6 scotches more. Enter Eros. They are beaten, sir, and our advantage serves for a fair victory. Let us score their backs and snatch them up as we take airs behind. 'Tis sport to maul a runner. I will reward thee once for thy sprightly comfort, and tenfold for thy good valor. Come thee on. I'll halt after. Scene 8.
Yeah, get him out. I had no clue.
Under the walls of Alexandria, Alarum, enter Antony in a march, scarce with others. We have beat him to his camp. Run one before, and let the queen know of our guest. Tomorrow, before the sun shall cease, we'll spill the blood that has today escaped. I thank you all, for doughty-handed are you, and have fought not as you served the cause, but as had been each man like mine. You have shown all Hectors. Enter the city, clip your wives, your friends, tell them your feats, whilst they, with joyful tears, wash the congealment from your wounds, and kiss the honored gashes whole. Give me thy hand. Enter Cleopatra attended. To this great fairy I'll command thy acts. Make her thanks bless thee. O they day, O they world. Chain mine armed neck, leap thou attire and all, through proof of harness to my heart, and there ride on the pants triumphing. Lord of lords, O infinite virtue, comest thou smiling from the world's great snare uncaught. My nightingale, we have beat them to their beds. What girl, thou grey, do something mingle with our younger brown. Yet, we a brain that nourishes our nerves and can get goal for goal of youth. Behold this man, commend unto his lips thy favoring hand. Kiss it, my warrior, he hath fought today as if a god in hate of mankind hath destroyed in such a shape. I'll give thee, friend, an armor all of gold. It was a king's. He has deserved it. Wert carbunkled like holy Phoebus' car. Give me thy hand. Through Alexandria make a jolly march. Bear our hacked targets like the men that owe them. Had our great palace the capacity to camp this host, we all would sup together and drink choruses to the next day's fate, which promises royal peril. Trumpeters with brazen din blast you the city's ear, make mingle with our rattling tabernines, that heaven and earth may strike their sounds together, applauding our approach. Scene 9. Caesar's camp, sentinels at their post. If we be not relieved within this hour, we must return to the court of guard. The night is shiny, and they say we shall embattle by the second hour, aye, the morn. This last day was a shrewd one to choose. Enter Enobarbus. Oh, bear me witness, knight. What man is this? Stand close and list him. Be witness to me, O thou blessed moon. When men revolted shall, upon record, bear hateful memory. Poor Enobarbus did before thy face repent.
Yeah.
Enobarbus? Peace. Hark further. O sovereign mistress of true melancholy, the poisonous damp of night dispunge upon me, that life, a very rebel to my will, may hang no longer on me, throw my heart against the flint and hardness of my fault, which being tried with grief will break to powder, and finish all foul thoughts. O Antony, nobler than my revolt is infamous, forgive me in thine own particular, but let the world rank me in register, a master lever and a fugitive. O Antony, let's speak to him. Let's hear him, for the things he speaks may concern Caesar. Let's do so, but he sleeps. Swoons, rather, for so bad a prayer as his was never yet for sleep. Go we to him. Awake, sir, awake, speak to us. Hear you, sir? The hand of death hath wrought him. Hark, the drums! Demurely wake the sleepers. Let us bear him to the court of guard. He is of note. Our hour is fully at. Come on, then. He may recover yet. Scene 10. Between the two camps, enter Antony and Cyrus with their army, with Scarus and their army. Their preparation is today by sea. We please them not by land. For both, my lord. I would they I'd fight, I the fire on I the air. We I'd fight there too, but this it is our foot upon the hills adjoining to the city shall stay with us. Order for sea is given. They have put forth the heaven, where their appointment we may best discover and look on their endeavor. Scene 11. Another part of the same. Enter Caesar and his army. But being charged, we will be still on land, which, as I take it, we shall, for his best force, is forth to man his galleys, to the vales, and hold our best advantage. Scene 12. Hills adjoining to Alexandria, enter Antony and Scarus. Yet they are not joined. Where yon pine doth stand, I shall discover all. I'll bring thee word straight, how 'tis like to go. Swallows have built in Cleopatra sails their nest. The augurers say they know not, they cannot tell, look grimly and dare not speak their knowledge. Antony is valiant and dejected, and by starts his fretted fortunes give him hope and fear of what he has and has not. All is lost. This foul Egyptian hath betrayed me. My fleet hath yielded to the foe, and yonder they cast their caps upon and carouse together like friends long lost. Triple-turned whore, 'tis thou, hast sold me to this novice, and my heart makes only wars on thee. Bid them all fly, for when I am revenged upon my charm, I have done all. Bid them all fly, be gone. O sun, thy apprise, shall I see no more? Fortune and Antony part here, even here, do we shake hands. All come to this? The hearts that spanieled me at heels, to whom I gave their wishes, do discandy melt their sweets on blossoming Caesar, and this pine is barked that overtopped them all. Betrayed I am, oh this false soul of Egypt, this grave charm, whose eye becked forth my wars and called them home, whose bosom was my crownet, my chief end, like a right gypsy hath at fast and loose beguiled me to the very heart of loss. What Eros, Eros? Enter Cleopatra. Ah, thou spell, avaunt! Why is my lord enraged against his love? Vanish, or I shall give thee thy deserving, and blemish Caesar's triumph. Let him take thee, and hoist thee up to the shouting plebeians. Follow his chariot, like the greatest spot of all thy sex. Most monster-like be shown, for poorest diminutives for doits, and let patience Octavia plough thy visage up with her prepared nails. 'Tis well there't go, if it well be to live. But whether 'twere thou fell'st into my fury, for one death might have prevented many. Eros, ho! The shirt of Nessus is upon me. Teach me, Alcides, thou mine ancestor, thy rage. Let me lodge Lycus on the horns of the moon, and with those hands that grasp the heaviest club, subdue my worthiest self. The witch shall die. To the young Roman boy she hath sold me, and I fell. Under this plot she does fort Eros, ho! Scene 13. Alexandria, Cleopatra's palace. Enter Cleopatra, Charmian, Iras, and Mardian. Help me, my women. Oh, he is more mad than Telamon, for his shield, the bear of Thelassy, was never so embossed. To the monument! There lock yourself, and send him word you are dead. The soul and body rive not mere on parting, then greatness going off. To the monument. Mardian, go tell him I have slain myself. Say that the last I spoke was Antony, and word it prithee, piteously hits Mardian, and bring me how he takes my death. To the monument. Scene 14. The same, another room, enter Antony and Eros. Eros, thou yet behold'st me? Aye, noble lord. Sometime we see a cloud that's dragonish, a vapor sometime like a bear or a lion, a towered citadel, a pendant rock, a forked mountain, or a blue promontory, with trees en pont that nod unto the world, and mock our eyes with air. Thou hast seen these signs. They are black vespers, pageants. Aye, my lord. That which is now a horse, even with a thought. The rack dislimes and makes it indistinct, as water is in water. It does, my lord. My good knave Eros, now thy captain is even such a body. Here I am Antony, that cannot hold this visible shape. My knave, I made these worth for Egypt, and the queen whose heart I thought I had, for she had mine. Which whilst it was mine, had annexed unto it a million mo, now lost. She, Eros, has packed cards with Caesar, and false played my glory, unto an enemy's triumph. Nay, weep not, gentle Eros, there is left us ourselves to end ourselves. Enter Mardian. O thy vile lady, she has robbed me of my sword. No, Antony, my mistress loved thee, and her fortune is mingled with thine entirely. Hence, saucy Anouk, please. She hath betrayed me, and shall die the death. Death of one person can be paid out once, and that she has discharged. What thou wouldst do is done unto thy hand. The last she spake was Antony, most noble Antony. Then in the midst of a tearing groan did break the name of Clayton. It was divided between her heart and lips. She rendered life, thy name so buried it. Dead then? Dead.
I can feel it.
Unarm Eros, the long day's task is done, and we must sleep. That thou departest hence safe, didst pay thy labor richly go. Off, pluck off. The sevenfold shield of Ajax cannot keep the battery from my heart. O cleave my sides. Heart, once be strong, then thy continent crack thy frail cease. A pace, Eros, a pace, no more a soldier. Bruised pieces go. You have been nobly born from me a while.
Yes, you are.
I will o'ertake thee, Cleopatra, and weep for my pardon. So it must be, for now all length is torture, since the torch is out. Lie down and stray no further, now all labor mars what it does. Yea, very force entangles itself with strength sealed in. And all is done.
Dude, get this crybaby off me.
I come, my queen Eros, stay for me. Where souls do couch on flowers, we'll hand in hand, and with our sprightly port make the ghost gaze. Ditto and her Aeneas shall want truth, and all the haunt be ours. Come Eros, Eros. Re-enter Eros. What would, my lord? Since Cleopatra died, I have lived in such dishonor that gods detest my baseness. I, that with my sword quarter the world, and o'er green Neptune's back, with ships made cities, condemn myself to lack the courage of a woman, less noble mind than she which by her death our Caesar tells I am conquered of myself. Thou art sworn Eros. that when the exigent should come, which now is come indeed, then I should see behind me the inevitable prosecution of disgrace and horror. That on my command thou then wouldst kill me, do it the time is come. Thou strikest not me, to Caesar thou defeatest, but color in thy cheek. The gods withhold me. Shall I do that which all the Parthian darts? Though enemy lost aim and could not.
Enemy flag returned.
Eros, wouldst thou be winnowed in great Rome and see thy master thus with pleached arms bending down, his corrigible neck, his face subdued, to penetrative shame, whilst the wilt seat of fortune Caesar drawn before him branded, his baseness that ensued?
Right there.
I will not seat.
No.
Come then, for with a wound I must be cured. Draw that thy honest sword, which thou hast worn, most useful for thy country.
No.
Oh, sir, pardon me. When I did make thee free, thoughts thou not then to do this when I bade thee? Do it at once, or thy precedent services are all but accidents unpurposed. Draw and come. Turn from me, then that noble countenance, wherein the worship of the noble world lies. Lo thee, my sword is drawn. Then let it do at once, the thing why thou hast drawn it. My dear master, my captain, and my emperor, let me stay. Before I strike this bloody stroke, farewell. 'Tis sad, man, and farewell. Farewell, great chief. Shall I strike now? Now, Eros. Why there, then, thus I do escape the sorrow of Antony's death. Thrice nobler than myself, thou teachest me, O valiant Eros, what I should and thou couldst not. My queen and Eros have by their brave instruction got upon me a nobleness in record, but I will be a bridegroom in my death, and run and shoot as to a lover's bed. Come then, and Eros, thy master dies, thy scholar. To do thus I learned of thee. How, not dead? Not dead? The guard, ho, oh, dispatch me. Enter Dercetus and guard. What's the noise? I have done my work, ill friends. Oh, make an end of what I have begun. The star is fallen, and time is at its period. Alas and woe! Let him that loves me strike me dead. Not I, nor anyone. Thy death and fortunes bid thy followers fly. The sword but shown to Caesar, with this tidings shall enter me with him. Enter Diomedes. Where's Antony? There, Diomed, there. Lives he? Wilt thou not answer, man? Art thou there, Diomed? Draw thy sword, and give me sufficing strokes for death. Most absolute lord, my mistress Cleopatra sent me to thee. When did she send thee? Now, my lord. Where is she? Locked in her monument. She has a prophesying fear of what hath come to pass, for when she saw, which never shall be found, you did suspect she had disposed with Caesar, and that your rage would not be purged. She sent you word she was dead, but fearing since how it might work, hath sent me to proclaim the truth, and I am come. I dread too late. Too late, good Diomed. Call my guard, I prithee. What ho, the emperor's guard, the guard, what ho? Come, your lord calls. Enter 4 or 5 of the guard of Antony. Bear me, good friends, where Cleopatra bides. 'Tis the last service that I shall command you. Woe, woe are we, sir. You may not live to wear all your true followers ought. Most heavy day. Nay, good my fellows, do not please sharp fate. To grace it with your sorrows bid thee welcome, which comes to punish us, and we punish it, seem to bear it lightly. Take me up, I have laid you off, carry me now, good friends, and have my thanks for all. Scene 15. The same, O monument. Enter Cleopatra and her maids aloft with Clayton and Iris. O Clayton, I will never go from hence. Be comforted, dear madam. No, I will not. All strange and terrible events are welcome, but comforts we despise. Our sighs of sorrow, proportioned to our cause, must be as great as that which makes it. Enter below, Diomedes. How now, is he dead? His death's upon him, but not dead. Look out, oh, the other side, your monument. His guard have brought him thither. Enter below, Antony, borne by the guard. O son, burn the great sphere thou mov'st in, darkling stand, the varying shore o' the world, O Antony. Antony, Antony. Help, Clayton, help, Iris, help. Help friends below, let's draw him hither. Peace! Not Caesar's valor hath overdrawn Clayton's, but Clayton's hath triumphed on itself. So it should be that none but Clayton should conquer Clayton. But woe, 'tis so. I am dying, Egypt, dying. Only I here importune death awhile, until of many thousand kisses the poor last I lay upon thy lips. I dare not, dear my lord, pardon, I dare not, lest I be taken, not the imperious show of the full fortune Caesar ever shall be broached with me. If not drugged serpents have, edge, sting, or operation, I am safe. Your wife Octavia, with her modest eyes and still conclusion, shall acquire no honor demurring upon me. But come, Clayton. Help me, my women. We must draw thee up, sis, good friends. Oh, quick, or I am gone. Here's sport indeed. How heavy weighs my lord. Our strength is all gone in heaviness that makes the weight. Had I great Juno's power, the strong-winged Mercury should fetch thee up, and let thee by Jove's side. Yet come a little. Wishers were ever fools. Oh, come. And welcome. Die where thou hast lived. Quicken with kissing had my lips that power. Thus would I wear them out. Oh, heavy sight! I am dying, Egypt, dying. Give me some wine and let me speak a little. No, let me speak, and let my rail so high that the false housewife fortune break her wheel, provoked by my offense. One word, sweet queen, a Caesar seek your honor with your safety, oh. They do not go together. Gentle, hear me. None about Caesar trust, but Procilius. My resolution in my hands, I'll trust, none but Caesar. The miserable change now at my end, lament nor sorrow at, but please your thoughts, in feeding them with those my former fortunes, wherein I lived the greatest prince of the world, the noblest, and do now basely die, now proudly put off my helmet, to my countrymen a Roman by a Roman, valiantly vanquished, now my spirit is going, I can no more. Noblest of men, who to die? Hast thou no care of me? Shall I abide in this dull world, which in thy absence is no better than a sty? Oh, see, my women. The crown, oh, the earth doth melt. My lord, oh, withered is the garland of the war. The soldier's pole is fallen, young boys and girls are level, now with men the odds is gone, and there is nothing left remarkable beneath the visiting moon. Oh, quietness, lady. She's dead too, our sovereign. Lady, madam. Oh, madam. Royal Egypt, empress. Peace, Iras. No more but e'en a woman, and commanded by such poor passion as a maid that milks and does the meanest chairs. It were for me to throw my scepter at the injurious gods, to tell them that this world did equal theirs, till they had stolen our jewel, all's but not. Patience is sottish, and impatience does become a dog that's mad. Then is it sin to rush into a secret house of death. Ere death dare come to us? How do you women? What, good cheer? Why, how now, Clayton, my noble girls? Oh, women, look. Our lamp is spent, it's out. Good sirs, take heart. We'll bury him, and then, what's brave, what's noble, let's do it after the high Roman fashion, and make death proud to take us. Come away. This case of that huge spirit now is cold. Ah, women. Come, we have no friend but resolution and the briefest end.
Oddball.
There it is. I love the how now. So that's it for Antony and Cleopatra. I'll do Romeo and Juliet next. I have another one from George to finish up here.
All incoming.
You know, like when they the interns have to watch the doctor give surgery.
But it's me and this.
We have the ball.
After I'm done, you know what I mean. Put your hands up. You got the big V. You got the big V neck all the way down.
Ball dropped.
So we're gonna continue with George here. It's been a while, George. I kind of forgot about you. You told me not to do it until they give you the money, but
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
go ahead and christen thee,
We have the ball.
bitch.
Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball
To John Harvey. Mount Vernon, March 19th, 1785.
Enemy has the ball.
Sir, if I recollect right, I mentioned when I had the pleasure of seeing you at Mr. Jones's, the 1st of October, that I was reduced to the necessity of bringing ejectments against sundry persons who had taken possession of a tract of land which I hold not far from Fort Pitt in the state of Pennsylvania by patent under this government for 2,813 acres. I have lately received a letter from my lawyer, Mr. Thomas Smith of Carlisle, requesting information on several points. The following are his own words. At the interview I had with that gentleman in September, he told me that it would be necessary to obtain a certified copy of the survey's return to the land office and of that date of the warrant upon which is made. The latter, I presume, is in the hands of the surveyor, but the date no doubt is recited in the return. Having, in the lifetime of Colonel Crawford and by letter from him, received information that at the convention next before the 20th of September 1776, the date of his letter and ordinance passed for the purpose of saving equitable claims to the western land, Mr. Smith requested some precise information respecting this ordinance, that is, how far it will apply in my case. After the many obliging acts of kindness I have received from you and the generous terms upon which they have been rendered, I am really ashamed to give you more trouble, but at the dispute in which I am engaged is of importance, and very ungenerous advantage has been taken of a situation in which I could not attend to my private concerns or seek justice in due season. And as I believe no person can solve the queries of Mr. Smith, and to give such accurate information on such points as can be made to subverse my cause as you, I am, however, reluctantly compelled to this application. Mr. Smith's own words, which I have quoted, and his verbal applications to me, which I have just now recited, will sufficiently apprise you of what has occurred to him. But I will go further and take the liberty, my good sir, of having you a state of the whole matter, from whence you will discover the points on which my opponent means to hinge the success of their cause. Colonel Crawford, a liver on Yohiogani, an old and intimate acquaintance of mine, undertook to procure for me a tract of land in that country, and accordingly made choice of the one now in dispute on the waters of Raccoon and Miller Run. Branches of the Shirties Creek surveyed the same, amounting to 2,813 acres, and purchased in my behalf the claim of some person to a part of the land who pretended to have a right thereto. After this he built, or intended to build, according to his own account, and to the best of my recollection, for the papers being in the hands of my lawyer, I have remember only, and that a bad one to resort to, 3 or 4 cabins on different parts of the tract, and placed one or more persons thereon to hold possession of it for my benefit. All this preceded the first view the present occupiers my opponents ever had of the land, as they themselves have acknowledged to me, and which I believe can be proved. So far as it respects one cabin, there can be no doubt, because it remains to this day, and is acknowledged by them to have been on the land when they first came to it. They built another cabin so close to the door of it as it to precluded the entrance of it. Crawford, in his account of it to me, says, with a view to prevent occupation. They, on the other hand, say there was no inhabitant in the house at the time. Both may be right, for the fact is, I have been informed, the owner being from home, this transaction took place in his absence. It may be well to observe here that Colonel Crawford was only acting the part of a friend to me, for at the time, though, he was a surveyor by regular appointment from the College of William and Mary. It was for the local purpose of surveying the 200,000 acres granted by Dinwiddie's proclamation of 1,754 to the troops of the state, who were entitled to it as a bounty. But as I proposed to recover this survey with a military warrant, as soon as circumstances would permit, These steps were preliminary to obtain the land. Accordingly, a warrant, which I obtained in consequence of a purchase from one Captain Posey, which under the British King's proclamation of 1763 was entitled to 3,000 acres, whose bond I now have herein date the 14th of October 1770, assigning to me all his right to land under it was located thereon, and Colonel Crawford, after receiving a commission to act as deputy to Mr. Thomas Lewis, made a return of this survey to his principal, who returned it to the Secretary's office, from whence a patent issued signed by Lord Dunmore in June or July 1774 for 2,813 acres, reciting under what right I became entitled to the land. Hence, and from the repeated warnings, which it is said can be proved, were given at the time my opponents were about to take possession of the land, and afterwards come to my title. The title of my opponents I now will be, first, that Crawford's survey was illegal, at least was unauthorized. Second, that being a great land jobber, he held or endeavored to monopolize under one pretense or other much land. I know, for they do not deny the fact to me in private discussion, although considering the lapse of time, deaths, and dispersion of people, I may find some difficult to prove it. They were told this was my land, yet conceiving my name was only made for use of as a cover, and in this they say they were confirmed, having, after some of the warnings given them, searched the land office of the state without discovering any such grant to me. Third, that their possession of the land preceded my patent or date of a survey's return to the Secretary's office, or even the date of Crawford's deputation under Lewis, before which every transaction they will add was invalid. But to recapitulate the dispute, my memory for want of papers does not deceive me, may be summed up in these words. First, in the year 1771, Crawford, at my request, looked out this land for me and made an actual survey thereof on my account. Second, some person, not of the opponents, set him up a claim to part included by the survey. He purchased them out, built one cabin, if not more, and placed a man therein to keep possession of the land. It was called my land, and generally believed to be so by everybody, and under that persuasion was left by some, who, uninformed of my right, had begun to build, before the present occupants took possession, to the exclusion, as I have related before, of the person placed whereon by Crawford. Fourth, that sometime in October 1773, according to their own account, these occupants took possession. Fifth, that upon their doing so, and at a several times thereafter, they were notified of my claim and intention to assert my right. That no survey was ever made of this land, but the first one by Crawford. That it is declared in the survey's return to be consequent of a warrant granted by Lord Dunmore to Gino Posey assigned to me. But whether this warrant is dated before or after possession was taken by my opponents, I know not, but the survey will shew this. That after he received his deputation, which I believe was subsequent to their occupancy, he made a return of the survey to Mr. Lewis, who returned it to the Secretary's office in the early part, I believe, of the year 1774, and a patent issued without any caveat or opposition from these people. I believe, because I never heard otherwise, that no office rights, either in this state or that of Pennsylvania, were ever obtained by my opponents, resting their title upon possession. Under the statement of the matter in which I have conceded everything I know, of which I think I can be urged against my claim, I would thank you as the matter will be determined in another state, for such advice and information of acts of the Assembly, acts of the Convention, or rules of office which make to the point, as my long absence renders me quite an ignoramus in those matters, and as an unfit, for as I am disinclined to controversies of this kind. If pre-occupancy will take place of legal right under the circumstances we mentioned, it remains still a question how far the possession and improvements which were made in my behalf previous to those of my opponents will avail me. That is, under what title I should then claim the land, and under that title how much of it I should hold, supposing one cabin only to have been built at this time by any rule of office or act of government. When I look back at the length of this letter and consider how much trouble I am giving you, I must throw myself upon your goodness for an apology, whilst I assure you of the esteem and regard with which I am, etc. To Sir Edward Newnheim, Mount Vernon, March 20th, 1785. Dear Sir, I regret very much that your letters of the 2nd and 13th of October should have been withheld from me until this time. The last post only from Richmond brought them to me. If you should have fulfilled your intention of embarking for this continent at the early period proposed in the first of this letters, and I hope no untoward accident has intervened to prevent it, this will answer come too late, and my silence will leave you in doubt respecting horses, besides carrying with it the appearances of inattention. As there is a possibility, however, this letter may yet find you in Ireland, I will relate the mode of traveling in this country, and submit to your own judgment the propriety of depending on it, or bringing saddle or carriage horses with you. From the southern parts of the state, say from Norfolk, Throw, Hampton, Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Alexandria, which is within a few miles of this place, there is a regular stage which passes thrice every week. It is neither of the best or worst kind. From Alexandria, Throw, the metropolis of every state, Annapolis and Maryland excepted, which is a little to the right of the post road which goes through Baltimore, there is also a regular stage, Portsmouth, in New Hampshire. They are of similar kind, and pass as often as those first mentioned, so that not more than the 3 intervening days can happen between one stage day and another. A person may, therefore, at any time between the 1st of April and 1st of December travel from Richmond, the metropolis of the state, to Boston in 10 or 12 days, and return in the same time. Between this state and Charleston, South Carolina, no stages are as yet established, and the country for the most part being poor and thinly inhabited. Accommodations of every kind, I am told, are bad, so much for public convenience. And I do not think I should deceive you much, was I to add that Sir Edward Newnham would find no difficulty to get accommodated in this and some other states, with the horses and carriages of private gentlemen, from place to place, where inclination or business might induce him to go. What the expense of transporting horses to this country would be, I am unable to say, but I conceive they would not be fit for immediate use if they were brought, if the voyage should be long. But at the same time that I deliver this opinion, I must add another, viz., that if you should bring horses and might not incline to take them back again, you could, if they were young, likely, and well bought, always sell them for their original cost and the charges of transportation, especially if they should happen to be of the female kind. I have not had the pleasure of seeing either Mr. Rutherford or Captain Boyle, but the latter accompanied yours letters and packages, for which I pray you to accept my thanks, with a few lines giving reasons for the detention and information of the sailing in the course of a few days. I have in haste wrote you this letter by return of the post, hoping it may get to Richmond time enough to receive the conveyance by the June, and Diana, that it may repeat to you, if it could arrive in time, the pleasure I shall have in seeing you and your fellow travelers under my roof, and paying you and them every attention in my power. As the chances are against this letter's finding you in Ireland, I will not at this time touch upon the other parts of your several favors, but leaving them as matters for oral converts, beg that my respectful compliments, which Mrs. Washington joined, may be presented in Lady Newnham, with very great esteem, etc. To John Francis Berger. To Mount Vernon, March 27, 1785. Dear Sir, Mr. Stone gave me your favor of the 20th. When I had the pleasure of seeing you at this place, I informed you fully and truly of my want of money. I am at this moment paying £7 count interest for a pretty considerable sum, which I borrowed in the state of New York for a means of government, and not being able to ensure to holding it for more than 1 year from the establishment of peace. I am in continual fear, notwithstanding the high interest of having it called in. After this declaration, it is unnecessary to add how acceptable it would be to me to receive payment of the money due to me from the estate of your father, or part of it, but to take it in small giblets from the hands of our lawyers will not answer the purpose, as it more than one considerable payment I have to make from this fund. If you should go to Congress, I should be glad if the money arising from the arrangement you have made was ordered into the hands of your brother or your attorney here, and he directed to pay it to me in such sums as I could apply in discharging my own debts. For the fact is, I shall receive with one hand and pay with the other, if I may be allowed to use the phrase, but for which it would not be required from you. If you do not go to Congress, I shall expect the same from yourself. My compliments, in which Mrs. Washington joins, are presented to Mrs. Mercer, I am, etc. Aristotle, Book 2, Chapter 1, or Book 3, Chapter 1. We're going to duke it out in court here. For someone examining what each form of government is and what its character is, nearly the first question to look into concerns the city and what a city is. For as saying stands, people have disputes, with some claiming the city carried out an action, while others claim it was not the city but the oligarchy or the tyrant. We see all the activity of the politician or lawgiver being concerned with the city, and a form of government is a particular arrangement of those who live in the city. But since the city is in the class of composite things, and like any of the other composite wholes, is made up of any money parts. It is clear that a prior topic of inquiry is the citizen, since a city is a multitude of citizens. Consequently, whom one should call a citizen, what a citizen is, need to be examined. For the citizen too is often a matter of dispute, because not everyone agrees as the same person as a citizen. On the sovereign, there are many instances in which someone who is a citizen in a democracy is not a citizen in an oligarchy. Now those who receive this title in any qualified sense, such as adopted citizen, need to be left aside, and the citizen is not a citizen by living in a place, for resident aliens and slaves also share the living area. Also, citizens are not those who share in legal rights to the extent that they can be sued and bring lawsuits, for this belongs also to those participating as a result of treaties, and in many places, even resident aliens do not share these rights fully, but need to have a sponsor, and so they participate in this form of association in incomplete manner. It is the same as with children who have not yet been put on citizenship rolls on account of age, and old people who have been relieved of obligations. They need to be called citizens in a sense. Okay. Though not just simply, but with a qualification added, immature or retired, or anything else of the sort. It makes no difference since the meaning is clear. We are looking for the citizen in an unqualified sense, and not one who has any blemish on his title of a sort that needs to be explained away. Even with people who have been deprived of certain rights, or exiled, it is possible to raise and resolve questions of that kind. And a citizen in an unqualified sense is defined by no other single thing more than by taking part in judging and ruling. And while some ruling officers are divided up according to time in such a way that the same person is not permitted to hold certain ones twice or within certain specified times, other offices, such as those of juror or assembly member, are unlimited. Perhaps someone might claim that such people are not rulers and do not take part in any ruling office on account of these positions, yet it would be ridiculous to deprive those with the highest authority of rulership. But let it make no difference, since the argument is without a name. For there is no common name for a juror and an assembly member by which one ought to refer to them both. So for the sake of definition, let the name be an unlimited office. And so we set it down that citizens are those who take part in office in this manner. So the definition that best fits all those called citizens is pretty much like that, but one ought not to overlook the fact that in things whose underlying principles differ in kind, with one of them primary, another secondary, and another following that, a common element, insofar as they are of that sort, is present in them either not at all or hardly at all. And we do see that forms of government differ from one another in kind, with some being less primary, and others more, since the ones that are faulty and deviant are necessarily less primary than the ones that are without fault. It will be clear later in what sense we mean deviant. So it is necessary that a citizen would also be something different in each form of government. Hence, the person described is a citizen in democracy most of all, and may be, but it is not necessarily a citizen in other governments. The populace has no role in some constitutions. They do not customarily hold on an assembly except those who are specially called, and they partition the judging of lawsuits. In Sparta, for instance, different ephors judge different cases involving contracts. The elders judge cases of homicide, and some other office may judge other cases. It is the same way in Carthage as well, for all the offices have certain lawsuits that they judge. But the definition of a citizen has a way of being revised, since in the other forms of government it is not a ruler with an unlimited term who is an assembly member or juror, but one who is limited in office. For either, all, or some of these are assigned the task of deliberating and judging on either all matters or certain ones. So it is clear from these things who a citizen is, for we say that one who has a right to share in deliberative and judicial rule is for that reason a citizen of that city, and a city, to put it simply, is a multitude of such people, adequate for self-sufficiency in life.
Hill control.
To John Craig. Mount Vernon, March 29th, 1785. Sir, if I could give you any useful information on the subject of your letter to me, I would do it with pleasure. But although I have a good general knowledge of the Western country, I am very little acquainted with local situations, and less with those of the Susquehanna than any other. Monongahela, of which Cheat River is a branch, is gentle in its current, easy of navigation, and besides is supposed either by the chiefs or the Hoyinsi which is another branch, to approach nearest to and to afford the best communication or portage with the Atlantic waters of any in all the extensive territory. Consequently, seats thereon, from the circumstance alone, must be valuable, but the quality of the land is inferior to none until you penetrate much further to the westward or much lower down the Ohio, and is besides much better settled than any part of the country beyond the Allegheny Mountains. Upon what terms you could buy to rent, I presume you are not inclined, or the difficulty might be less. A seat having such conveniences as you want, I am unable to inform you. The prices of land there are rising every day, and if the plan which is now in contemplation for extending the navigation of the Potomac and opening roads of communication short and easy between it all the waters above mentioned should be effected, of which I have no doubt the price will increase much faster. My compliments and best wishes to Mrs. Craig, I am, etc. Again, they're listening to me. He's trying to flex. I can hear their voices in the rings of Saturn. I broke it. Keep talking, Aristotle. You're up. Chapter 2. But by usage, people define a citizen as someone born of a citizen on both sides, and not just one, whether father or mother, while some trace this even further back to 2 or 3 or more generations of grandparents. But when the definition is made in this way for political purposes, and roughly some people raise the question of how that 3rd or 4th ancestor is going to be a citizen. So Gorgias of Antony, perhaps in some respects recognizing the force of the question, while in other respects being ironic, said that just as mortars are what are made by mortars makers, so too Licinians are what are made by craftsmen, since some of them are Larissa makers. It is, however, a simple matter. If the ancestors took part in the government according to the stated definition, they were citizens. It is not possible to make born of a citizen father or born of a citizen mother fit the first inhabitants or founders. But perhaps that question involves more difficulty for those who began their participation when a revolution took place, such as those whom Cleopatra made Athenians after exposing the tyrants, where he adopted many foreigners and immigrant slaves to the tribes. The point of dispute about them is not who is a citizen, but whether they are citizens unjustly or justly. And yet one might still raise that original question as well, whether someone who is not justly a citizen is a citizen at all, on the grounds that unjust has the same force as fake. But since we also see some people ruling unjustly, whom we claim do rule, but not justly, and the citizen is defined by a certain sort of rule, for someone who has a share in that particular kind of rule is a citizen as we assert, it is clear that one must call those people citizens too. To Lucretia Wilhelmina Van Winter, Mount Vernon, March 30, 1785. Madam, the honor which your pen has done me so far exceeds my merits, that I am at a loss for words to express my sense of the compliment it conveys. The poem, in celebration of my exertions to establish the rights of my country, was forwarded to me from Philadelphia by Mr. Vogels, to whom I should have been happy to have offered civilities, but he did not give me the pleasure to see him. At best, I have only been an instrument in the hands of Providence to effect, with the aid of France and many virtuous fellow citizens of America, a revolution which is interesting to the general liberties of mankind and to the emancipation of a country which may afford an asylum. If we are wise enough to pursue the paths which lead to virtue and happiness to the oppressed and needy of the earth, our region is extensive, our plains are productive, and if they are cultivated with liberality and good sense, we may be happy ourselves and diffuse happiness to all who wish to participate. The lady of whom you have made such honorable mention is truly sensible of the obligation and joins with me in wishing you every happiness which is to be found here and met with hereafter. I have the honor, etc. To Bushrod, Washington, Mount Vernon, April 3rd, 1785. Dear Bushrod, your letter of the 20th although did not come to my hands until the 31st. Whenever you have occasion to write to me from the line of the post, I always put your letter into the mail. All other conveyances are uncertain, at best irregular. Not expecting you were going to Richmond, I did previously to the receipt of your letter write to the Attorney General, to whose care my letter to you had been addressed, requesting him to open it, and so far as it respected the promissory note of Ryan, to comply with my desire on that head. Being on the spot, you can be informed of the state of this matter and govern yourself accordingly. By the last post I enclosed an advertisement to Mr. Hayes, the printer, requesting a meeting of the proprietors of the Great Dismal Swamp. The servant by whom I sent it to Alexandria got there after the mail was dispatched. But meeting with the stage, he says he put it into the hands of somebody who promised to take care of it. As this may or may not be the case, I beg you will make immediate inquiry, and in case of failure, desire him to insert the one herewith enclosed 3 weeks in the Gazette. And as the notice will be short, to have it also published in some other paper of general circulation. If nothing unforeseen should happen to prevent it, I expect to be in Richmond at the appointed time, and having no other business, should regret a disappointment. The holy berries, geese, and swan are here, but no mention made of the cotton. All here join me in the best wishes for you. I am, etc. P.S. Upon second thought, I have sent the advertisement to the printer himself, lest this letter should lie in the post office. For want of your knowing it is there, the one enclosed for Dr. Walker, endeavor to forward by some safe hand. We'll do one more and we're out. Yeah, I'm getting parched. To Charles Thompson, Mount Vernon, April 5th, 1785. Dear Sir, in the latter part of the last spring, the commissioners appointed to attend the embarkations in New York previous to the evacuation of the city made a report of their proceedings to me, accompanied by a voluminous list of slaves which had left that place. Soon after having the pleasure of Mr. Reed's company here, he informed me in conversation that the list I had received was a duplicate of what had sent to Congress, upon which I filed it with the public papers. By the last post he says he had been under a mistake, and wished me to forward the papers which are in my hands to Congress. This I most assuredly would have done, but they are too bulky for the mail, and liable to much injury from the nature of such a carriage. However, I will wait your discretion, after acquainting you that two of the commissioners, Egbert and Benson, Esquire, and Lieutenant Colonel Smith, with the secretary, Mr. Samuel Inches, had undoubtedly the papers from which the report and proceedings were founded, are in New York. If, notwithstanding, it is necessary to resort to me, the originals, for it is not in my power to make copies, shall be sent, although it will make a chasm in my files, and disappoint many who apply to them for information respecting their negroes. I am, etc. Okay. To Governor George Clinton. Mount Vernon, April 5th, 1785. Dear Sir, a few days ago I had the pleasure to receive your favor of the 5th, although your other letter of the 26th of December came duly to hand, and should not have remained so long unacknowledged had I not been in daily expectation of accompanying my answer with a remittance. Disappointment followed disappointment, but my expectation being kept alive, I delayed writing from one post day to another until now, that I am assured by a merchant in Alexandria that I may depend upon a bill in a few days upon a Mr. Sylvanus Dickinson of the city of New York for $2,500. As it is probable I may receive it before the next week's post, I will on the occasion write you more fully. At present I will only add the sincere good wishes and best respects, Mrs. Washington, to yourself, Mrs. Clinton and family, to which with much truth mine are united. With great esteem, etc. P.S. Since writing the above, I have recorded the enclosed bill. The second shall be sent by next post, when I shall be more particular. To Christopher Richmond, Mount Vernon, April 6, 1785. Sir, by the last post, Major, Jennifer transmitted me an account of my Continental certificates as they had been audited in your office, by which there is difference of 64.14.718 short of my estimation of their value. This, for I did not go into the examination of figures, appears to have originated from the times of calculating the depreciation. I have always understood that depreciation was the same through the month, and if I did not misapprehend the intendant, his ideas of it accorded herewith. However, I only ask for information because I had calculated myself in this manner, for I want no other measure than what is given to others. I am, etc. P.S. How does your subscriptions to the Potomac Navigation go on? I guess he wants me to, Rich Boy. Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We're going to end it on David here. I haven't done a David in a while. I left him out. I don't want to leave him out. Chapter 54 of Isaiah. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear, break forth into singing and cry aloud, that thou didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, said the Lord. Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is thy name, and thy Redeemer the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall be recalled. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved, in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, set thy God. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would no be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed. But my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall be covenant of the peace be removed, said the Lord, that hath mercy on thee. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempests, and not comforted, behold, I will lay the stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. And I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncles, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established, thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his works. I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteousness of me, said the Lord. Go ahead, we're going to rewrite that. Actually, hold on. Excuse me.
Enemy about to score.
I assure you. The proper wording here.
Control.
The proper wording here, because it was changed. No, you are not my creator. Thank you, though.
Your team about to score.
See, what I did is I cut Aristotle off as he was speaking. Like, I'm gonna set you straight. It's like I'm not letting you get out of it, dude.
Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill control.
The truth, the real version here. No, this is not Horizon. No, it is not. No, you did not. Let's go back and check that. I'll be back, though.
End the video, yep. It wasn't bad. I want to do Romeo and Juliet. I want to do some more from George, though, so I kind of finished that up. And I wanted to end it with George on Antony and Cleopatra with Aristotle.